Lesson 12 for pre-algebra is called Evaluating Expressions. So we have a couple of terms to define first. What is a variable? Okay, a variable is going to be some type of symbol. Usually it's going to be a letter that's going to stand for an unknown number. Some examples of that would be X, Y, A, B. It really doesn't matter which letter is used when you're talking about a variable. It could also be a symbol like a peace sign or something like that. Okay. An expression, okay, is going to contain several different things. Obviously, it's going to have a number in it. It's going to have variables. And it's going to have operations. And by operations, I mean add, subtract, multiply, or divide, or a combination of. So it would look something like this. As an example would be x plus 2. Notice there's no equal sign, so it's not called an equation. It's called an expression. So we have our number, which is the 2. We have our variables, which is the x. And we have our operation, which for this one is addition. When it asks us to evaluate an expression, it wants us to find the numerical value. Basically, it wants us to work it out to get a number answer. Okay, and how do we do that? How do we evaluate expressions? First thing we're going to do is we're going to substitute. Okay, and we're going to substitute the variables with their given values. In other words, they're going to tell us what the variable equals. For example, it'll say x equals 5. Okay, that's a variable. This is the given value of 5. Once we've done that, then we're going to follow the order of operations. Remember I said operations are going to be add, subtract, multiply, or divide. More than likely a combination of all of those. All right, so let's go through some examples quick. So this first one, here's my expression. We've got numbers, we got variables, and we have an operation. Over here, it's telling me wherever there's an x, I'm going to put a 5. Wherever there's a y, I'm going to put a 3. Okay, so if I have 7, and if there's a letter right beside the number, that is multiplication. So let's put this up here just so we know. So something like 7x is thought to be or represents 7 times x. Okay, it's just kind of a shortcut. They don't usually put the times in there. Just get used to that. So wherever there's an x, I'm going to put a 5. So this means 7 times 5 plus 4 times, in place of y, I'm going to put a 3. So in place of the y, I put a 3. And in place of the x, I put a 5. That's my first step called substitution. And then once I've done that, I just work out my order of operations. So you can see here I've got a multiply. So I'm going to multiply those two together. Here's another multiply. I multiply those two. And then I add my final 2 to get 47. Remember I said evaluate, we're going to get a number answer. Next one, we're going to go 9 times a squared. A over here is 4, so 4 squared minus 2 times b squared, which is 7, 7 squared. Order of operations says I'm going to do the exponents first. So 9 times 16 minus 2 times 49. I'm going to multiply before I subtract. So I have 144 minus 98. When I subtract those two, I get a value of 46. This one only has one variable, okay, and that's going to be a 2. So when 4 times m is 2, so 2 squared, see this squared right here? That's that one, plus 5 times 2. Again, order of operations says I need to do the exponent first. So that means I'm going to have 4 times 4 plus 5 times 2. 16 plus 10 gives me 26. So you can see, except for this very first step where we substitute in for m, then it's just figuring out the order of operations. Most students are going to mess up because they don't take the time to substitute it all in. They just think they can do it all in their heads. I'm just saying you might want to take your time. Here we go. Last one. 8 times c, which is a 2, minus d, which is 4. There's my first set of parentheses. Divided by c plus d. Okay, remember this is called an expression. And what I've done is I've substituted in these values for these variables. Now we follow just the order of operations as we did in lesson 11. So 16 minus 4 in the first set. And we're going to have 6 in the second set. 16 minus 4 is 12. Divided by 6 gives me a value of 2. So as you're doing these, just make sure you take your time. Try not to shortcut anything. It'll really cut down on your errors if you do so. Good luck.